Hi, welcome to Sully's Cooking Show. I know, it's pretty great. Today, we have a special recipe, in the morning recipe, as I like to call them, with eggs, ham, and cheese. So, let's get to a time and clothes change. But first, we have to wash our hands. And now we can change the time. Alright, so, to start out the recipe, we're going to go with some basic lunch meat ham. Because I prefer it to cook with because it cooks faster because it's thinner and it's just a lot easier than thick pieces of ham. So, the way we're going to cut it is you're going to start going down the middle. So, we're going to start cutting down the middle here. And then, we're going to cut across. And you can cut it more if you want. Down here, once more. And down here, once more. And with the ham stacked, that gives for more pieces that cook. Okay, so this part of the recipe, we're going to start cooking the ham. It requires 1.5 cups of ham. So with that, we're just going to place it in this pot. And with having butter in there, it wouldn't have the ham stick to the pan. Now I know you might be thinking, but it's a non-stick pan. Well, better safe than sorry because it's eggs. Now, as you can see, I clearly burnt my butter, but that's okay. I like the saltier flavor it gets when it's burnt, so to me, that's a plus. So as we're cooking this ham, I like to tell you a little story. I learned how to cook ham all by myself. I was home one day alone, and I was like, I'm hungry, but I don't want to make just a sandwich and ham, so I was like, okay, let's just cook some ham. So I took some pieces, and I almost burnt the house down that day. It was pretty intense. Now, don't burn your house down when cooking. Just make sure you have parent supervision by or someone always there, alright? Because it can get very dangerous. Take it from someone with experience. Right, cameraman?
Yes.
Alright, so now with this part of the recipe, once we have the ham slightly cooked, it may look like it's burnt, but it's just the butter giving it a nice golden brown touch to it, because it adds to the appealing taste and flavor, in my opinion. Now what we take is a 1/2 cup of onions. Alright, and you also take a 1/2 cup of green bell peppers. And then you're just going to want to stir them around and cook the vegetables along with the ham. You can turn the heat up a bit more if you had it on low, like I did, for safety purposes. Because, you know, if you go and leave the pan, once again, your house could burn down. It's not good. Now, you may be thinking, you're just trying to get this whole health thing. You keep mentioning safety because it's on the rubric. Well, that's one thing that's true about that, my friend. That is one thing that's true. But I'm also saying that because it's true. If you left an open flame and you put some piece of paper there, that's dangerous. But another thing that could help your safety and your health is cooking the eggs all the way through. Because if you don't cook eggs all the way through, you get salmonella, and that's just not too great for you. You know, that's a disease that a lot of people get from eating raw meats and different things like that, and I don't think you would like to chomp down on some salmonella in any of your beef or eggs. So, you finally made it to the step of cracking eggs. Now, if you haven't had fun yet, this is probably one of the best parts. Cracking a bunch of eggs and just getting them into this huge bowl. Now you can use a bowl, a cup, or anything else. This is just one big liquid measuring cup. So if you want to use one of those, then you can. The recipe also calls for 12 large eggs. But instead of using 12 large eggs, I'm just using 7 large eggs because it's for a smaller group of people, just me and my cameraman. And trust me, we're 2 hungry people. Right? Alright, good talk. Now, as I'm cracking these eggs, notice how I'm not getting any shell in there. You just gotta crack, stick your thumbs in there, and push back any loose shells so they don't get in there. And you should get a flawless thing of eggs. Now, you can use a whisk, a fork, or something that will just mix them up. Now, what I like to use usually is a fork because I find it a lot easier because then you can stab and just whisk it a lot better than usual. Now, as you whisk all this up, for your preference, you can come over to your nearest salt shaker and you can get some salt in there. It looks like a lot of salt, but it's going to even out and we're going to mix it around. Get some pepper in there. And then just whisk it up some more. And that also breaks up the yolk some more. So that way it'll come out into a perfect egg scrambled shape. Now, once that is ready, you take it and just dump it all into these vegetables and ham and deliciousness. You can turn up the heat if you had it down. And from now, you just mix it around. Alright, so now that you have your eggs in your pan, you just gotta keep mixing and scraping, and it's a lot of scrambling, hence the name scrambled eggs. Isn't that fun? Now, one thing in the name is cheese. Ham and cheese scrambled eggs, you know? What am I forgetting? The cheese. But I got that right here. Don't fret, my friends. You dump the cheese in there. That would be exactly a cup. And you just keep mixing that in with the eggs and the ham and the vegetables. Remember to keep scraping the sides and make sure they're scrambled and not an omelet, because that can happen where you just forget to scramble and it turns into an omelet. Now, as you can see, as I scrape, barely to none stick to the pan because number one, it's a non-stick pan, and number two, I put butter on it, so it makes it more slippery and easier to keep things from sticking. Now that you have some of it, see how some of it's watery? That's still raw egg. So you're going to want to flip it over to get it more on the hot side and just keep leaving openings like that so any wet and not cooked egg can get down there. Because remember what I said, salmonella is not a good disease. So just keep scrambling and scrambling away, my friend. And eventually, and then your eggs will look like this once they are all done. Nice, great eggs. Now, you can take it and you can shut off your flame if desired and set it off to the side and let it cool down if the flame is too hot for you. Hi. It's nice of you to join me. You know, these eggs are really good. They kind of taste like salty, but with a hint of ham. And I don't know how to describe the taste of ham. It's savory. It's good. And then there's that slight tang of the bell pepper and the onion with the a moist but a yet smooth texture of eggs. Kitty, would you like some? No? I got another plate. Okay. So, yes. Good night and goodbye to all, and make yourself some eggs.